Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. In this video, we are deploying full stack 3-tier application on AWS EKS using NGINX Ingress controller. We'll walk you through the entire setup, understanding architecture, solving beginner issue, and finally accessing the app through the browser. Many beginners struggle when trying to deploy Kubernetes app on cloud platforms like AWS. Issues like setting up networking, understanding ingress, load balancer, and DNS resolution and routing can be confusing. So in this video, we will use a cost-effective bastion host to control the cluster, set up a production-ready environment using AWS EKS, expose the services via load balancer using NGINX Ingress. So let me give you a quick overview of this architecture. So at the top, we have a custom domain. This custom domain will be resolved to the load balancer IP. Whenever user hits this custom domain, request will be routed from the through this load balancer inside our cluster to this ingress. In this ingress, we'll be defining the two main paths like slash and slash API. Request to slash will be routed to the front end, and request to this slash API will be routed to the backend tier. And in this front end tier, we have our pods running. In this pod, our actual front end React application is running, and in backend inside this pod, backend application is running. And this is the database tier. Our backend can communicate with a database, and these are persistent volume and persistent volume claim. Okay, now before getting started, these are the key points that you must understand. First is ingress resources. These are the ingress rules. In this ingress resources are like ingress rules. In this we'll be defining like slash. Whenever the request will be for slash, traffic will be routed to the front end service. Whenever the request is for slash API, traffic will be routed to the backend service. These are the normal rules. And then next one is ingress controller. We talked about these rules. Now who follows these rules? That's where comes in ingress controller. Ingress controller is the one who looks for these rules and according to these rules routes the traffic either to the front end or back end. And now comes a load balancer to make your application accessible to the public, means to expose your application. Load balancer will help. Load balancer will give an public IP through by which your application will be exposed to the external world. Now the next slash etc and slash host. Now the load balancer will give in a public IP that will be used to access your application. So that IP will map it to this host. This is the custom host that we are creating. And again, if you have your actual real domain, you can map it to that. But if you don't have, we will be creating this custom domain and we'll map that IP address to this domain. Again, if you're not getting, I will show you the actual demo. You'll get it there. Now just understand that we'll be mapping this host to that IP address. That's it. So first we'll launch a bastion host T2 micro. This instance will not be the part of our cluster. Instead, we'll use this instance to launch our cluster, configure our cluster, and install other tools like Docker, kubectl, eksctl. So just launch a T2 instance micro. And once you launch this instance, SSH into this instance. Once you are inside your instance, update your instance. So by the time it get updated, go to your console and create a user, and we'll configure this user with your instance. Give administrative permission to the user and create user. Next, we will head towards creating access key and secret access key. With this access key, we'll configure our account with CLI. Then install AWS CLI and configure the user. Type this command AWS configure and apply those secrets and secret access key. Now I already installed the other tools like Docker, kubectl. You just copy those tools from README and apply here and give permissions to your Docker. So once you installed all the tools, we'll launch our cluster. Paste the command from the README and change the region according to your region. And we'll run this command. And again, it will take nearly 20 to 25 minutes to launch your cluster. So by the time your cluster gets created, open another tab and SSH into your instance and pull the code from the GitHub. Now let me show the Kubernetes manifest. These are my backend deployment, backend service, front-end deployment, front-end service, Ingress, MongoDB deployment, Mongo service, persistent volume and persistent volume claim. You can take a look at this. And now once your cluster is ready, check how many nodes are running inside your cluster. Apply this command and then move to your KTest folder and we'll apply all the manifest one by one. And before applying Ingress, install the Ingress controller. Take the command from the readme and apply here. Then check all the resources in your namespace. And once all the services are up and running, we'll take the domain of our Ingress and map that address to our custom domain. Then run your notepad with administrative permission and go to this folder and apply that IP with the custom domain as I have done here. Then go to your browser and hit for that domain. You will be able to access the application. And that's it. We have deployed a production style full stack app on AWS EKS using NGINX Ingress controller and load balancer. If you found this video helpful, make sure you like, share and subscribe. And in future video, I'll also be creating monitoring with Prometheus and Grafana and setting up CI/CD pipeline for this. Once you are done with your deployment, make sure you delete the cluster. Once the cluster is deleted, also terminate your bastion host.